Hello and welcome to the lunch lessons, growing pains and how to avoid them. This is transitioning from any prior version of Microsoft Office products, 2003, 98, whatever you happen to have, to either the 2007 or 2010 versions. There is a significant difference between the two. So, the growing pains and how to avoid them. This is presented by lunchlesson.com. Thank you very much. As we get into this, we are first going to clearly define the problem, and it should be painfully obvious to anyone who has opened up the program. And then we will move into getting rid of this worry or fear or the problems that you might experience for current and any future versions of Microsoft Office, and how you could have avoided any of these problems in this situation in the first place. And then finally, we'll go into a little bit about the the ribbon itself in Outlook, Word, Excel. Pretty much all the products now with 2010, they've extended it into Microsoft Paint. So if you're used to using drop-down menus in Paint, that's a thing of the past. All right, so let's begin with what were they thinking? So first off, let's begin by just defining clearly what the situation is. Your problems with using an application have just multiplied astronomically, assuming you have not taken one of our courses in the past. For the last 15 years, we've actually been advocating how to not have these issues. You may have experienced little things like, where is the file drop down menu where I can do things like save as, open, little things like printing a document. So, what about all those options and settings that you used to be able to just go to Tools Options? Can't get there anymore. And then, of course, everybody's favorite, this ribbon thing is taking up half of my screen. I can't even see my documents. All right. If this sounds at all familiar to you, then you need to be looking into some of our courses with regard to how to use all the new products. Okay. Personally, one of my favorite things is to notice those experienced users who have now become completely immobilized. They are stunned at the fact that they can't even open a document, save a document, or print a document. The first time they open up 2007 or 2010, they just are stymied and go, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? So let's get into the crux of the course here. And remember, this is just a lecture and demonstration, but if you'd like some hands-on or live training, we'll be more than happy to accommodate. Just go to lunchlesson.com and look for that under the menu. You might need to join the site if you want to get into the courses themselves. And you can always order these free overview courses, or you can get into the schedule for live training. Thank you very much. Let's move on here and see what we can find out about this whole situation. Find out what exactly were they thinking. All right, so continuing on with what exactly was Microsoft thinking, you might find that as you start digging into this that it's really not as bad as you think. It's not like they were setting out to completely destroy your ability to use their programs, their software. In fact, you'll find that they're actually quite more intuitive than they used to be. All the drop down menus and things would shift every time there was a new version. So it's not like you've never had to relearn how to use Microsoft products. And again, I will be showing you some ways to prevent the need to relearn every single time. And not even just Microsoft products, but any software product. Okay, first, let's get something straight. Nothing has changed. This happens every single time there's a new version of Microsoft products. You have to go hunt down what has moved around in the drop down menus. Used to be in the first layer deep in the menus. Now it's 3 layers deep every time you go to do options and things like that. However, there are some things that are constant or consistent from one to the next, and we will be talking about those in just a moment. So this happens, like I said, every time they have a new version. So based on that, for the last 15 years, I've actually been teaching people ways of learning the principles that are inherent in all these products and how to carry those over from one to the next. Okay, regardless, you have some reprogramming ahead of you. Even though it's easier and more intuitive, you gotta kind of get over the drop down menu thing. And once you do, then everybody else in your organization has to as well. So, since this involves a major shift in paradigm, don't expect any miracles. You're not going to get people just absolutely comfortable with the new Office anytime soon. So, we'll do what we can and work on it, but in any case, we'll have to kind of keep going from there. But if you pay attention, learn this lesson well, you'll never have to worry about learning this again and again and again. So every time there's a new product, you just go screaming right on through. As a matter of fact, when 2007 came out, the first thing I did was go, wow, oh my gosh, where's all the menus and how do I like even do file save as? And yeah, I only did that for like 3 seconds, and then I went on and did my business without really missing a beat. And I'll show you some tools also that we can go download from Microsoft's website that makes this whole process a little bit easier. All right, so on to the next thing. We'll actually kind of continue this thought. So let's get into it. All right, so as we continue thinking about this change, let's start talking about continuity and the past 15 years worth of advice that I've been giving out to people. Okay, it's actually simple to be productive and seamlessly transition from one version to the next of any Microsoft product, and this has been the rule for about the last 15-20 years. If you learn just a few things that remain consistent from one year to the next, from one program version to the next, even from one application to the next in a lot of cases, then you're set. You can easily transition from one to the next with no break in productivity. And then you can explore drop-down menus and things like that as you go along. So just one small example of this is using the right click. That has always been there. Right click always gives you a context sensitive menu. Basically, whatever you right click on, you will get a menu directly related to whatever it was you just right clicked on. And the menu always has relevant choices about whatever it is you're working in. Like in a Microsoft Word document, you might right click and get options for thesaurus and dictionary and spelling corrections and things like that. That still happens in 2007 and 2010. It still works. Use it. Right click everywhere. Right click on everything. This right here, this one thing, is so intuitive and easy that in the 2007-2010 versions you can avoid the ribbon pretty much entirely just by right clicking. But regardless, we will get into other things and how to not worry and be productive. All right, as we continue on, the main thing here is you don't have to freak out every time there's a change in a Microsoft product, at least not anymore. We're going to use the tried and true methods and principles that are always there, have always been there, and will probably always be there. They are constants. They've been around since the first versions of these programs. The first thing is keyboard shortcuts. Second thing is right clicking, and of course we have the F keys. F does not mean what you think. Control Shift and Alt, used in combination, used with the arrow keys, and used with the F keys. All right, these may be improved upon, unlike my slide, upon or added to, but I've never seen them go away. I also don't see them like shift around, like F1 doesn't suddenly become something else. F1 has always been help. So using the Control, Shift, and Alt keys always means the same thing. Using them in combination with the arrow keys and the F keys, that has always been around. They've added and they've improved the kind of capabilities, but I've never really seen them just up and go away or mean something totally different. All right, so let's move on here and get into kind of the first section of this, which we will get into the keyboard shortcuts first.